My mom was always talking to Jesus. And just the way it started off like that, it just, man, it touched my heart. My dad was always talking to Jesus. And then it goes into him being a dad and how he was talking to Jesus and his son walking in. My parents were always talking to Jesus. And it's like the power of just seeing that in them and the unashamedness of it, right? That Jesus is your friend and just what that's meant in my life. It's so powerful. I could sit here the rest of the hour we have and just hum. What a friend we have in Jesus. And I know our intellectual side that can also be stimulated thinks that's garbage. We need the message. Man, there's so much power in us just sitting around and humming. What a friend we have in Jesus. The weight that will come off of you, the cares that are in the world that will just leave you, just from your mind thinking. What a friend we have in Jesus. We think we need so much. I mean, it's not that we can't come with understanding and explanations and can't explain things to people and discern people's situations. But man, so many times we want these complicated explanations and we want all these complicated things in our lives sorted out. And really all we need to happen, we don't need all the complication. We don't even necessarily need the understanding. We just need to be talking to Jesus. And I don't mean need like it's a law. I mean, that's like what will make us feel all right again. Just talking with Jesus like we would talk with our friend. Just pouring our heart out to Him about what's bothering us, the pain we feel, the hurt we feel, the confusion we feel. Just talking with Him. There's like this sounds shocking, but there's like a supernatural power in Jesus. That it's like the stuff just comes off of you. It's like you're delivered. And you're just like, yes. And I can't tell you how many times people pose the complication of their life and how heavy the things in their life look. And I think sometimes they want a heavy explanation. And I can do that. And I can fall prey to the temptation of doing that. But that's not always the power behind them experiencing salvation in that moment. And I think sometimes I frustrate people because I'll come with, just talk with God. It's like, but I listen to you preach and you say all these things about all these things, and so you know all these things. Can you tell me about all the things that you know so that I can know them and that I can be set free? I can just tell you right now, everything that I say, all the explanation, all the detail is only so good that it brings you to the place where you just start talking with God about what you feel. Everything I say is for that simple purpose. It's to get everything out of the way that would cause you to stumble from just seeing that God was your Father. And seeing that His face is always shining down upon your life. And that He's always concerned for your life. And that He always cares about your heart. And that He's always wanting to talk to you. So that you could just hear the voice of God telling you, who told you there's something wrong with your life? Who told you you lack? Who told you your life is being overcome? Who told you that it's bad to feel weakness? So that when you feel those things, instead of trying to sort it out on the inside, because that's what we do, isn't it? We got to figure out why we feel the weakness. And once we scapegoat the reason why we feel the weakness, we got to set about a plan to destroy the thing that's making us feel the weakness. But man, we could just start talking with God about the weakness we feel. Hey God, who told you that it's bad to feel weakness? Oh. Now, you know what you're immediately saved from when you hear that? Trying to figure out what's causing you to feel the weakness. And you're saved from trying to destroy the thing that's causing you the weakness. And then you start thinking, well, God's my strength. And there's actually nothing wrong with me if I feel weakness. It's not a sign that God's far from me or that something in my life is being destroyed. Just simple talking, man. I feel bad, again, I'll say it again, because I think sometimes people think that I'm not interested in what they say to me. And then, honestly, when I say it now, just talk with God. That sounds like the most profound thing I could ever say. But sometimes I can see the people's faces. They're like waiting for me to come with some long explanation because I preach for 10 hours. Well, Greg will get up in there and dissect the whole thing and stick it on the table and then we're going to fix it. Man, and what I've realized is the most powerful thing is just to hear the voice of God. Who told you? And to just talk with God about what you feel, why you feel it, and what you see going on. Because you'll find something powerful happen. He'll start talking with you about what He sees going on. And I promise you, there's strength for you in what God sees about your life. There's strength for you in God's understanding about what's going on. You can just talk with God. That's a powerful, profound thing. And listen, guys, don't read too much into what I'm saying. That doesn't mean I won't give you explanations. That doesn't mean that I'll never engage to bring understanding to dynamics. Because sometimes it can help us to do that. It's not to despise one and make one less than or no good. It's just to also be reminded sometimes of this simple childlikeness of the gospel, of just a simple conversation with God about what's going on, and have that kind of a thing born in me. The most powerful thing that's happened in my life, if you look at my life, if you look at me, and you've known me the whole time we've had the church, and you think you see something in Greg that's beautiful, everything that I know, everything that I've learned has brought me to the place where I just talk with God now about everything. And it happens quicker now. It used to take like years. Then it took a couple months. Then it took a few weeks. Then it took a week. Then it took a few days. Now it happens in like 15 minutes. And so everything I say, the power of it is in bringing forth that in us. Because that's actually what we need. That's a simple thing Jesus was doing. You want to know the power? Jesus wasn't walking around, I know I have authority, and so we're going to do these things. No, he was walking around always talking to the Father about what he saw, what it meant, how he felt, why he felt that way, about the life they shared. It's a real simple thing, man. It's a real simple thing. Go read Psalm 22 and see Jesus talking to Daddy about what's going on when he's on the cross. You think Jesus needed salvation from what was going on when he was on the cross? I mean, we think we need salvation for what's going on in our lives. We think we do, and we do. But what was Jesus doing? He needed salvation when he was nailed to the tree, and that's what's going on for us when we need salvation. We feel nailed to the tree. And what did he do? It was a simple thing that he did, wasn't it? He just started talking with God about what was going on. He just started talking with God about what was happening and how it felt. And next thing you know, that's not that complicated, right? We think we got to have our faith involved. And I'm not despising faith. But faith looks more like you being persuaded God's your friend. And what do you do when you have a friend? You talk to them about the hurt you feel, and the confusion you feel, and the situation you find yourself in. And that was the power that brought Jesus salvation from the pain and the weakness he felt on the cross. It was just him talking with Daddy. What a friend he had in Abba. And he knew it. And his heart just cried out to God. And then you see Psalm 23 come. How quickly it changes, right? From him talking with Daddy about all the pain, the hurt, his bones being pulled out of socket, and them gaping on him, and mocking him, and spitting on him, and him watching the death in the world come upon him. At the end of Psalm 22, you hear him say, I will stand in the midst of the great congregation, and I will declare your love, O Lord. And then what does Psalm 23 go into? Still Jesus on the cross. The Father is my shepherd. I do not lack. He didn't grit his teeth and say, this is what I'm supposed to believe. He wasn't stepping out in faith. He wasn't exercising his faith. He wasn't taking authority. He simply talked with God like his friend about what he was feeling. That's freaking simple, man. So whatever you think you need to know about faith, whatever faith you think you need to have, whatever faith you think you need to exercise, all of it is trying to lead you to the place where you just see God as your friend. And you just connect with him like that. There's power in that, man. And you don't need to be smart. You don't need to know the verses. You can know those things. It's not evil to know them. But don't isolate yourself from the power of God thinking you got to have X, Y, Z and all these different kinds of things. It's a real simple thing. Just try talking with Jesus. What a friend we have in Jesus. Man, I freaking love that. I'll probably play that 10 more times today. And if you're wondering who it is, it's Brandon Lake at Elevation Worship. It's Elevation Worship. That's my favorite worship.